Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. When my husband and I got engaged, I did not get a ring, but rather we picked out a piece of art that had a mirror in the middle. It was designed to have a piece that said something about what was important to us all the way around, these tiles. And it had the flag for freedom and a heart for love. It had the mountains because I like the hiking and the sunshine and various symbols, peace symbol. Each part of that means a lot to us and speaks for who we are and what our values are, education. Whenever we walk through the door, we may look in the mirror, but we also are reminded of what's important to us. My daughter, I was a single mom when I met my husband. My daughter was 3. She's traveled back and forth to her father's house. And whenever she came home, we wanted her to remember where she was. And it became a tradition. When she would come home, we would stand together as a family and go over what our values are and say we are home. When my son was born, we started doing the same thing. And then he'd go off to school, and he'd come home, and at the end of the day, there he was, and he might be grumpy, or he might be thinking about something that happened with his friends, and we'd say, it's time to look in the mirror and remember where you are. And that is our tradition. It is what grounds us. It may not be something that happens once a year. In some weeks, it happens once a day, but it means a lot to us. It's our family tradition. Madam Table Topics Master.
Great. Now we're going to switch to the theme of the day, mentor. And my next question, my next table topic would be, when have you mentored? To give us an example of a time that you feel that you've mentored someone. It can be out of work, in work, formal, not formal. Just if you go ahead and someone can save it there.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Mentoring. Many times it's confusing. What is mentoring? And I was confused too for many years. Until I took a class in UC Davis 10 years ago, we were talking about the difference between mentoring, coaching, and just being an advisor. So what I learned from the class is to be a mentor, you got to be an expert. If I'm a golfer, I can mentor someone who wants to play golf. I can't be a mentor of a kid who wants to play football because I'm not an expert in football. Mark can be a mentor. He's a great speaker. He can mentor the speakers. And we are in the club starting a mentoring or restarting a mentoring program for the new members where we'll be looking for seasoned, experienced, and expert speakers to mentor our new incoming mentors. Recently, a neighbor, a good friend of mine, is a neighbor, and so he was applying for a job, and he brought his resume and a qualification, our statement of qualification, and said, Jack, I need your help. And he was applying to a management position and a leadership role in a company like a vice president, and I wanted to help him. And as a mentor, he came to me because he sees that I've been in those positions, I've been in those roles, and I can help him to do that. So as part of the process, I took his 6-page resume and cut it down to 2 pages. My desire was to make it into 1 page, and I could not make it into 1 page for him, and because there was so much information. So 30 years of experience and all the things that he had has to be fit into 2 pages of resume. But I was able to help him to cut down the 6 pages to 2 pages, and he's applied, and also he appreciates why I wanted him to cut down from 6 pages to 2 pages. Also, I gave as a mentor the reasoning behind why you do certain things in a certain way on a resume. What's more important for a hiring manager? What is that you want to, highlight in your resume? What job are you applying to? So you may want to tailor the resumes. And he's took the interview and he's waiting for the results of the interview. And he felt really good about the interview because he got the interview. So that's the first step with the resume. I think he sees a success, and as a mentor, that's my job in that role, not to get him a job, but to get him an interview. And that's what I say. Thank you.
One more? Okay. On the other side of it, we're going to question is do you remember or a fond memory or when you have, spit it out here, have been mentored, when you've been a mentoree, does someone stand out in your mind? Really? Yeah.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The time when I was a mentor, there's been lots of little moments where I've been mentored, whether in Toastmasters or in my job, by a manager or a coworker. But, it's an interesting question to be up here to speak about myself because I feel that I constantly seek mentoring, but I don't often get it. So I find myself modeling my behavior and my perspective off of people who I see in my environment who are role models, who do things that I see as exceptionally well, or things that they do that I highly value and respect. And that's how I seek in lieu of mentorship. I seek where I go for improvement. So I appreciate mentorship. I do it every day to others in my work environment, constant mentoring and coaching of my peers and of my staff. And sometimes I wish I got it more myself. Thank you.
Okay. Jack, you can go ahead and give us the timers reports.
I forgot.
Oh, okay, give us the timer report for the speakers and tabletop.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
Our first speaker, Jake, your speech was 5 to 7 minutes, and you were at 7 minutes and 21 seconds, and you were within the limit. Marianne, your speech was 4 to 6 minutes, and you were at 4 minutes and 56 seconds. You were still well within the limit. As far as the table topics, Jake, you spoke for 2 minutes and 1 second, and you did use the word of the day, tradition. And Jack, it says X is actual time. And Lily, you spoke for 1 minute and